Hi everybody, Al Bernstein here with one of my year-end wrap-up pieces, and on this one we'll talk about a couple of different categories of selections that I have. One is upset of the year. In this one, I think there's very little doubt that Chris Algieri's win over Ruslan Provodnikov earlier in the year is the upset of the year. Remember, leading into that fight, everyone, and I mean just about everyone, thought that that fight was simply a tune-up for Provodnikov as he got ready to potentially fight Manny Pacquiao or another big-name opponent. Now, everyone knew that Chris Algieri had been a solid fighter in his weight class, but no one thought that he could give Provodnikov the trouble he did. And remember, after he was down twice in the first round and had that huge swelling around his eye, at that point, I don't think too many people thought Chris Algieri was going to be able to box effectively for the rest of that fight and win a close decision. So the upset of the year certainly goes to him. Now, this is a category in which I just kind of made up called most overlooked fight of the year. What's the most overlooked fight of the year? Bermane Stiverne and Chris Arreola. We talk and we talk and we talk about how we want good heavyweight fights. That fight happened this past year for the vacant WBC title. It was a barn burner in which Stiverne was hurt early in the fight by Chris Arreola, who, by the way, Arreola came in shape, ready to fight, which he doesn't always. And then Stiverne was able to turn the tables and stop Arreola. It was a terrific heavyweight fight, shown on ESPN no less. They did not do great ratings for that fight, which I was shocked at. And by the way, I spent 24 years at ESPN, and they are the masters of cross-promotion across all their networks and their social media and their website. And they honestly didn't do a great job of cross-promoting this fight, which was a shame, because here was a heavyweight fight that was going to be good, and everyone knew it was going to be good, and it didn't really get the numbers that people would have liked to have seen. And maybe that's part of the reason why it's been kind of ignored at the end of the year by a lot of people that talk about fight of the year candidates. I'm not suggesting it would win that, but it was a superb fight. And it sets up what I think is going to be a great fight at the beginning of this coming year between Bermane Stiverne and Deontay Wilder. Now, here's a category that I made up that is called the hard luck fighter of 2014. And there isn't even a close second in this category. Mauricio Herrera could have been fighter of the year, but for some bad scorecards. Early in the year, he fought Danny Garcia in a fight for the 140-pound title that Garcia has, titles, and I think Herrera won the fight. I announced that fight, and I thought Herrera definitely won the fight. Several of the judges didn't think so, and some had it as wide as a 4-point margin for Danny Garcia. So after that very difficult situation for Mauricio Herrera, what does he do? Turns around and fights Johan Perez, a very good fighter, beats him. A closer fight, probably, than the Garcia fight, and yet he gets the nod, which was appropriate. Then, this veteran goes and fights Jesse Benavides, a young, upcoming, rising contender. He wins that fight, but he doesn't win it. He wins in the ring, but again is ripped off by the judges on the scorecards. So here's Mauricio Herrera, who took on 3 very good fighters in 2014. In my opinion, beat them all. Should have been a world titleist, and instead he ends up with a 1-2 record to show for 2014. If there's anybody that I hope continues to get good fights and occasionally gets judges that are actually paying attention to what's in front of them, I hope that it's Mauricio Herrera in the year 2015.